This is KUGAN CASSIUS Rifle TV in association with Macklin's in Marbella. We're at the post-fight press conference here for Who's Fooling Who. With me I've got promoter Eddie Hearn. Where should we start?
Start wherever you want, mate.
Let's
Cardle.
start with Dodd and Cardle. What a great fight.
I thought one of the best fights I've seen for a British title. I felt like Scotty would outbox him, but I felt if it goes later on in the fight, I saw, when he fought Buckland, he lost the first 3 rounds and then he started coming into the fight. So I think Scotty just, it was a lot to take in, the booing, the atmosphere, do you know what I mean, the occasion, and I think he made mistakes. I think he was sloppy, and Masha just grew in the fight. I actually had Masha up at the time of the stoppage. I thought the stoppage was premature. I think the ref should have looked at the fighter. He waved it off when he fell over and he got up and had his back to him. In my opinion, but it's very easy to say this as a fan, he should have turned him around, looked at him and assessed how he was. And looking at him, although he didn't really complain, I think he would have let the fight go on, but there was a minute and 30 seconds left. I believe Cardle would have stopped him, legitimately. And he would have got more credit, but as it happens, stone cold rematch. Has to be a rematch, and there will be a rematch.
You said after the fight straight away that you thought it was stopped.
Yeah, because I had him winning the fight. I'm not taking anything away from Scotty. Scotty found a way in that last round to get the result. I still believe he would have got that stoppage if the ref would have given him an 8 count, or and then let the fight go back on. I think Cardle would have stopped him, but you just don't know. And it's it's taken that mystery. We've got that mystery now. Would he have stopped him, or would Masha have held on and won the fight? He was up by 4-2 and behind on 1.
Watch Groves all over again.
Yeah, Masha didn't really comply. I mean, he was out, wasn't he? He stumbled back. He could hardly stand up. But Masha is. Sometimes you meet people through boxing. You meet the nicest people, and Sean Dodd is one of them. Like, this is a guy who 2 days before the show with Stephen Smith, Scott Cardle pulled out 3 days before. I had no chief support. Sean Dodd was in a 6-rounder. I phoned him up. I said, listen, I'm going to give you a load of money to fight Gary Buckland over 10 rounds and eliminate it for the British title. Do you want it? Him, right, lad. Right, goes in there, beats Gary Buckland. No one thought he'd beat Gary Buckland in a million years. All of a sudden I said, you got great support, you fight Scotty Cardle. Right, lad. Oh, he's gone from, he's earning, I don't know, 1,500 quid for a 6-rounder to great dough. Right, sold over 1,000 tickets. Yeah? So, and puts in a performance like that. I went into him after, I know you're gutted, but believe me when I say your stock is rising and rising, and you will get a rematch for the British title. And he's such a nice bloke, But I don't want to take anything away from Scotty, because he looked out in the 10th and 11th round, and he found a way back to get the stoppage in the 12th. And he suffered 4 cuts. That one was really bad, but it was a wonderful fight. Grit, determination, will to win. It had everything.
Absolutely. What did we learn about Callum Smith tonight, and what did we learn about Rocky Fielding tonight?
You learned that Callum Smith is one of the best super middleweights in the world. You learned that Rocky Fielding. It's difficult, isn't it? Because without sitting down and assessing how he felt. Did he? I mean, he didn't freeze, but did he forget about the tactics and get overwhelmed by the occasion? And I thought that might happen to both of them, and you might get a shootout, and that's exactly what you got. There's only 10 seconds left in the first round, but it was some round. It was 2 minutes 50 seconds of, and when Rocky started firing back, and then walked onto the left hook from Cat. I felt for Rocky because he didn't have to take the fight. But he took it because he didn't want to step aside. And he took it because he had a lot of pride, and it was an opportunity, and it was a lot of money. And he wanted to fight Callum Smith.
Did you expect that in the first round?
No. As Martin Murray sat down, I said, my exact words were, these opening couple of rounds are very important. Because I really felt like if Rocky got through those rounds, it was going to develop into a really interesting fight. It's not that it means it matters where I've been, because it ain't about me, but it's really quite difficult, horrible having two fighters fight each other. Because I can't, I felt sick when Callum won. But yeah, I should, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, to see Rocky lose like that, it was horrible. But it's boxing, isn't it? It's a tough sport,
As regards to Callum Smith, we know he's rated where he is with the WBC and hot on the heels of
everyone.
Yeah. But what are you going to do with him at the moment? Because
well, it's up to him and Joe. Look, he's in a position where he's number one in the WBC. I'd love him to fight Bellew Jack, and I think he beats Bellew Jack all day long. I'd love him to fight George Groves. I'd love him to fight Chudinov.
How did he get himself into a mandatory slot for the WBC? What does he have to do?
He's number one. They could make him mandatory automatically.
Yeah.
Or he fights a final eliminator.
What do you think will happen?
I think they'll probably order a final eliminator.
You think he's ready for that?
For a final eliminator. Do you think he's ready for Bellew Jack?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is.
He beats Bellew Jack, in my opinion. And he beats Chudinov. Definitely beats Chudinov. And I think he beats Bellew Jack. But I can't, I don't know what's best for him because the trainers know what's best for him. So Joe Gallagher will tell me. Joe might turn around and say, quick defence of the British, or the final eliminator might come up, and he'll say, yeah, we'll have that. So I'm just Joe Gallagher's lapdog. He just tell me what to do, and I'll wag the tail and get on with it.
Ricky Burns stopped Josh King tonight, the 11th round. Ricky Burns, are you pushing him towards the WBO route?
Not really. I mean, he wanted to get ranked with the WBO. It was a strange fight, wasn't it? Josh King was, Ricky, rather than the only time Ricky started boxing and using his range like he used to, he stopped him straight away. Jab, right hand, left hook to the body, over. But he spent a lot too much time on Josh King's chest and fighting on the inside. And I think Ricky needs a huge fight. He needs to be put in that big fight because, he's at that level now where these fights, can he get up for? Has he still got it? Well, he showed against Figueroa, he did. Do you know what I mean? So I think he has, but he needs to be in a big fight.
Would you consider him if Crawler was to beat Perez?
Yeah, of course. Listen, I'd love him to fight Flanagan. I'd love him to fight the winner of Crawler Perez. I'd love him to fight for the IBF. I'd love him to fight Linares. It doesn't matter. He needs to be in a huge fight spring, summer of next year.
You announced tonight that Tony Bellew will fight Masternak 12th of December at the O2 for the European title. It's also an eliminator.
Who told you that?
Tony.
Did he? Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe, but he said to me...
It doesn't really matter.
He said, can you find out from Eddie if it's a final or just a...
Yeah,
that's what he said.
To be honest, it's a fight where Tony Bellew wanted a real... We wanted Ramirez, right? Who's not now going to fight. I think he might fight Huck next year or might fight... Tony Bellew wanted a real fight. And Masternak is a real fight. Wayne Rooney's over there. Going to have an interview.
Yeah, let me go and grab him.
Oh, thanks a lot. No. So quickly we'll finish because obviously I'm more important than Wayne Rooney. Masternak's a real fight, and that card is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we haven't finished yet. You're going to bin me off now for Wayne Rooney, aren't you?
We'll try.
He ain't going to interview you.
Don't know.
He might know you. I bet he knows you.
He don't know me.
Bet he does.
He don't.
I'm just going to go and see my friend.
All right.
All right, mate.
Cool.